There was once a little girl who lived with her mother and grandmother and father in a little house in a small village on a tiny island surrounded by the sea. And every day of her life, she would go with her grandmother down to the edge of the shore to see what the waves had left on the sand. She loved the smooth, round pebbles with streaks of black and purple in them. She loved the shells. There were so many of them, all different shapes and sizes. Some were as tiny as her little fingernail. Every day of her life, she would go with her grandmother down to the edge of the shore to see what the waves had left on the sand. When she was just a little baby, her grandmother carried her. But as she grew older, her grandmother would take her hand, and together they would walk down to the edge of the shore to see what the waves had left on the sand. Most of all, she loved the starfish. Her grandmother taught her how to pick them up and turn them over to see if they were soft and flexible, because if they were, she would toss them back into the sea so that they could live. The ones that were already hard and dried out in the sun, the little girl would take home and place in a special box in her room. Every day of her life, she did this with her grandmother just before dawn, before the sun came up. Well, when the little girl was 9 years old, her grandmother died. It was her time. All living things must make that same journey one day. And that night, there was a terrible storm. Now, the little girl had been through storms before, but this one was particularly loud. Peal after peal of thunder crashed across the sky, and lightning lit it up just like daylight. Her parents came into her room to comfort her, and after a time, the storm began to pass, and things became quiet and calm and peaceful once again, and the little girl fell asleep. And just before dawn, she woke up and she started to put on her clothes, and she remembered. And for the first time in the little girl's life, she went down to the ocean alone. The moon was still round and big and full, and she could see where she was stepping even in the darkness. And as she approached the sand, she saw hundreds, thousands of starfish. It looked like all the stars in the sky had fallen down onto the sand. She picked one up and turned it over. It was soft and flexible. She tossed it out into the sea so that it could live. She picked up another one and turned it over. It was also soft and flexible. She tossed it out into the sea so that it could live, and she picked up another one and another one and another one, and soon she was picking them up with both of her hands, tossing them one after another into the sea. It was like a dance that she was doing with the wind and the waves and the starfish and the spirit and memory of her grandmother. As the sun rose higher in the sky, the other children of the village came to see what the storm had left on the sand, and they saw that little girl standing there tossing one after another of starfish into the sea, and they started to laugh. They said, "What are you doing? You can't save them all. You can't make them all live. There are too many, and besides, it doesn't matter." The little girl picked up a starfish. It fit right in the palm of her hand. She turned it over. It was soft and flexible. "To this one," she said, "it will matter." And she tossed it out into the sea.